In an instant, the cosmos shifted, a blinding flare tore across the night sky, and for a span of 6 minutes, the interstellar object, known as 3 Atlas, shone 4 times brighter than it had ever been. Every leading observatory on Earth recorded the same inexplicable surge of illumination. The James Webb Space Telescope rapidly verified that this was no ordinary cosmic flare, but an anomaly that defied the laws of physics. Within hours, space agencies around the globe redirected satellites and Mars orbiters to focus on the phenomenon. Then came the silence. Scientists who had once shared every discovery freely refused to comment. If the universe had sent a signal, what message was hidden within it? The story began far from the frenzy of major observatories in a small town in northern Germany. Under a clear sky, amateur astronomer Maria Schultz trained her modest 12-inch telescope on a faint green object she had been following for weeks. 3 Atlas. She expected another routine observation, a dim point of light drifting across the stars. But when her computer processed the data, the brightness leapt in a straight vertical spike. It was not a flicker or a curve. It was a sudden, precise ascent, like a heartbeat flashing in the darkness. Initially, Maria assumed an error on her part. She rechecked her calibration stars, the humidity, and the software logs tracking every second of exposure. Everything was flawless. Nothing explained the sharp rise in luminosity. Her screen showed a sustained increase of 1.4 magnitudes for exactly 6 minutes before returning to baseline. Staring at the numbers, she realized she might have observed something no one else on Earth had noticed. Within 30 minutes, confirmations emerged from the other side of the globe. Amateur astronomers in Brazil, New Zealand, and Arizona uploaded identical graphs to online forums. Their telescopes, coordinates, and timestamps matched hers to the minute. The pattern was identical worldwide, a flat line spiking once, steady, like the pulse of something immense and silent. Astronomy forums and social media erupted. What had begun as a solitary late-night observation spiraled into a digital storm spanning 4 continents. Soon, professional scientists joined the scrutiny. University labs cross-checked the measurements and found no system errors. Over there, it must appear soon. Skywatch Collective, a global citizen science network, confirmed that independent instruments under varied conditions all recorded the same readings. This was real. No known comet or asteroid produced such a light curve. Even Comet 17P/Holmes in 2007 had taken nearly 2 days to achieve similar brightness. 3 Atlas did it in under 1% of that time. The intensity defied basic models of sunlight, reflecting off icy bodies in space. By midnight, professional observatories were on full alert. Data channels flooded with raw exposures, timestamps, and sensor readings as teams compared observations in real time. In those first hours, astronomy was most open. Scientists and amateurs collaborated, united by astonishment and curiosity. Some called it the most thrilling discovery since Oumuamua. Others whispered that it might not be a comet at all. For a fleeting moment, the entire community shared the same awe. Something extraordinary had awakened in the sky. That awe quickly shifted to urgency. If 3 Atlas could flare so violently once, what might it do next? Every telescope on Earth tracked its course across the night sky, waiting for another pulse that never arrived. And as the object dimmed back into silence, a new question emerged, unanswered. Had the universe just opened its eyes? The discovery spread faster than any prior scientific announcement. Within hours, observatories from Chile to Japan pivoted to the same target. Gemini North in Hawaii, the Very Large Telescope in Chile, and China's Fast Radio Array abandoned their previous missions to study only 3 Atlas. Music. For the first time in years, the International Astronomical Union convened an emergency session. 11 nations participated, approving a global observation plan uniting agencies that typically competed for data and funding. Humanity's gaze was fixed on a single object from beyond the stars. Data poured in from every hemisphere. Robotic telescopes captured the object in perfect synchronization, confirming its constant brightness. Infrared sensors recorded heat far too stable for an ice and rock comet. Radio arrays in South Africa detected faint rhythmic pulses repeating every few minutes. That it was as if the solar system itself had become aware of something extraordinary. News outlets described a once-in-a-lifetime cosmic anomaly, while scientists called it a global opportunity for collaboration. For 48 hours, the planet united around one question. What exactly was 3 Atlas? Then the silence began. After 2 days, the data stream slowed and stopped. Social media posts vanished, live feeds went offline, and public dashboards displaying raw numbers were replaced with brief maintenance messages. Astronomers who had shared hourly reports went silent. Forums for discussion among professionals and amateurs froze. It seemed the world had reached the edge of something too vast to reveal, and the curtain had been drawn. Behind the scenes, observatories confirmed requests to pause communications pending review. NASA, ESA, and CNSA issued identical statements citing data verification needs. Such global coordination was unprecedented. Every telescope network fell silent, not from failure but by choice. Journalists reached out to the scientists who had appeared on television just days before. None responded. Some deleted social media accounts entirely. To observers, it seemed the entire scientific community had collectively concealed something. Amateurs noticed satellite channels once aimed at 3 Atlas were redirected, leaving only blank sky. The event began with light and ended in silence. Within that quiet, a new fear emerged. What could compel the world's most open scientific community to fall utterly silent overnight? The silence was not peace, but control. Soon, fragments of information leaked. An internal memo from a senior ESA radar engineer noted non-gravitational acceleration 4 times stronger than models predicted. It also recorded an infrared rise of 30 Kelvin above baseline and gamma bursts precisely matching 3 Atlas's coordinates. The data was consistent across multiple telescopes, but inexplicable. Normally, discoveries like this spark debate, peer review, and conferences. Instead, a lockdown followed. Open data servers went offline. Research access credentials were revoked. Entire websites were temporarily replaced. It was as if an invisible boundary had been drawn. Those attempting private file sharing reported failed uploads or vanished files. Within days, the most connected scientific community had become a wall of silence. Independent analysts noted something stranger. Mentions of 3 Atlas by verified astronomers dropped over 70% in less than 24 hours. Forums were locked, posts deleted. The few public statements suggested technical delays, yet the tone implied pressure rather than procedure. One Chilean researcher posted only, "They told us to stop watching," before disappearing. Rare leaks deepened the mystery. Radar logs showed bursts of movement inconsistent with natural motion. Spectrographic readings revealed heat plateaus impossible for organic materials. Deep space reflections pulsed every 247 seconds, repeating across observatories, a rhythm suggesting coordination. Whispers circulated of an emergency protocol called containment, aimed at limiting communication until data could be verified or suppressed. A leaked IU chat described the event as a synchronized global anomaly, implying intention rather than randomness. Journalists compared the blackout to historical government restrictions on astronomical data. Nothing matched this level of coordination. The public questioned the silence. Agencies remained mute. Amateur observers noted that 3 Atlas no longer followed a predictable orbit, subtly shifting nightly as if responding to unseen forces. Humanity had glimpsed something beyond comprehension. The quiet broke with images. Hidden in classified James Webb data was evidence that 3 Atlas was accompanied by a smaller, dimmer object maintaining perfect formation about 75 miles away. Initially thought to be a fragment, the secondary body stayed in orbit like a satellite under invisible control. A natural interstellar object could not sustain such stability. Yet this companion moved, with mathematical precision. Its surface absorbed light instead of reflecting it. Microwave readings indicated active heat regulation, behavior impossible for ice or rock. The discovery prompted quiet alarm. Agencies labeled the pair the 3 Atlas complex. The term implied design, not chaos. Engineers likened the formation to artificial satellite constellations, only far more advanced. Some theorized the smaller body controlled the larger one, adjusting trajectory through unknown mechanisms. Harvard and Tokyo theorists speculated 3 Atlas might be an interstellar carrier, using energy feedback to stabilize its motion, while the companions serve as a power node, guidance system, or probe monitoring our reactions. Encrypted research groups quietly shared these theories. Every measurement hinted at design. Brief leaks of James Webb data showed geometric reflections, edges too sharp, lines too straight, confirming that this was no random visitor but an arrival. The turning point came when 3 Atlas transmitted. After weeks of silence, a 12-second radio burst struck Earth, focused, deliberate, structured, with harmonically precise waveforms. Observatories across China, Australia, and South Africa recorded identical signals. The transmission matched the hydrogen spectral line, a universal constant and a key channel for interstellar communication. This choice confirmed intention. The signal was designed to be understood. Spectrograms revealed 6 perfect hexagons surrounding a central dark point, mirroring the physical formation of the 3 Atlas complex. It was a message, not noise. Speculation soared. Some interpreted the pattern as orbital resonance. Others noted the sun's absence, aligned with 3 Atlas's position, suggesting a calibration sequence synchronized to the solar system. Harvard physicist Avi Loeb described it as a tuning event. Governments classified the data, dismissing the signal as interference. But those who saw raw recordings knew the beam was deliberate communication. It ceased as suddenly as it began. 3 Atlas dimmed, its companion barely visible. Scientists stared at 12 seconds of perfect order, potentially history-altering. One question remained. If this was a test tone, what would the real message be? 12 seconds after the burst, Earth's magnetic field fluctuated subtly, matching the transmission's length. Instruments across Europe, Asia, and North America recorded the same anomaly. The Schumann resonance shifted 0.02 Hz, then returned to normal. Though imperceptible to most, scientists recognized the planet had responded. The beam had struck a hidden chord in Earth's atmosphere. Project Helios, a classified study, concluded that the radio burst induced low-frequency electromagnetic resonance, synchronizing the planet with the object. Engineers found terrestrial systems emitted their own pulses, reflecting the signal back to space, creating a faint global feedback wave. 3 Atlas may have anticipated this. Earth's technology triggered its reaction. Humanity had unknowingly reflected itself. Despite official denials, leaked Helios files confirmed the oscillations matched the 247-second pulse surrounding 3 Atlas. For a brief moment, the planet had synchronized with an interstellar rhythm. The public never learned of Helios. Only a few scientists retained copies, describing an eerie calm, a sense that the connection was paused, not broken. If Earth had answered once, what if 3 Atlas calls again? Quiet confirmation appeared in raw James Webb infrared data. While the world looked elsewhere, astronomers continued studying the object's light curves. The enigma of 3 Atlas only deepened in the following weeks. Amateur astronomers noticed subtle anomalies in its motion that no natural object could produce. Its speed would fluctuate slightly, not in erratic ways, but in precise, almost programmed increments, as if the object were measuring Earth's response to its presence. The twin companion maintained its position perfectly, a constant shadow, moving in lockstep with an invisible rhythm. Every observation suggested that what humanity was witnessing was not a chance interstellar encounter. It was a calculated demonstration of control. Global scientific teams, initially unified in curiosity, grew increasingly tense. Data streams that once flowed freely were now subject to layers of encryption. Satellites previously devoted to general sky surveys were reassigned, and raw observational files became heavily restricted. Whispers of a Phase 2 began circulating among insiders, a deeper level of interaction yet to be revealed. Some astronomers reported minor distortions in space-time readings around the object's path, subtle warps in gravitational measurements that defied simple explanation. These anomalies were minute, almost imperceptible, but consistent across instruments, and they hinted at technology or forces far beyond current human understanding. Meanwhile, social media and scientific forums buzzed with speculation. Amateur astronomers shared personal accounts of strange electromagnetic interference affecting their equipment. Cameras occasionally recorded faint geometric flares emanating from the object, but they vanished before any detailed study could be completed. Several independent reports noted that radio transmissions to and from Earth appeared subtly altered, as if 3 Atlas was modulating them intentionally. The possibility that humanity was being observed and perhaps studied grew harder to ignore. In classified briefings, agencies compared notes and noticed another pattern. The companion object seemed capable of generating its own microfield of influence. Instruments detected low-level heat modulation, alternating with near-perfect thermal stability. This behavior was unlike anything ever recorded in asteroids, comets, or artificial satellites. Engineers suggested it might be using some form of active energy regulation, keeping the system stable while monitoring Earth signals. The implications were staggering. For the first time, humanity faced the possibility of direct interstellar interaction with an engineered system. 3 Atlas was no longer a passive wanderer through space. It was a presence capable of observing, responding, and potentially manipulating signals from Earth itself.